Ever sent a quick smiley face, a thumbs up, or maybe a crying laughing emoji? Of course you have. They're everywhere, from our texts to our social media feeds. These tiny digital icons have become a universal language, adding emotion and nuance to our conversations. But have you ever stopped to wonder where they came from? How did these little pictures take over the world? Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating history of the emoji, from a simple typed colon and parenthesis to a global phenomenon. It's a story that involves a university message board, a Japanese telecom company, and a global standard that changed how we communicate forever. Before we had the colorful emojis we know and love, we had their simpler ancestors, emoticons. Our story begins back in 1982 at Carnegie Mellon University. Picture this: it's the early days of the internet, a world of text-based online message boards. People are communicating, but there's a problem. Without tone of voice or facial expressions, it's really hard to tell if someone is being serious or just telling a joke. Sarcasm was constantly being misunderstood, leading to online arguments and confusion. Enter Scott Folman, a computer scientist at the university. He and his colleagues were trying to figure out a way to mark posts that weren't meant to be taken seriously. They brainstormed a few ideas, like using an asterisk or a pound sign. But then, on September 19, 1982, Folman posted a message that would change digital communication forever. He proposed using a sequence of characters to create a sideways smiley face. He wrote, "I propose the following character sequence for joke markers: colon, hyphen, parenthesis, and just like that, the first emoticon, the smiley, was born." He also suggested its counterpart, the frowny face, for serious or sad posts. It was a simple, elegant solution that caught on like wildfire. Soon, these text-based faces were popping up all over university networks, the primitive ancestors of the internet, adding a much-needed layer of emotional context to the digital world. Now, let's fast forward a bit and travel across the globe to Japan in the late 1990s. The mobile internet was just starting to take off, and a Japanese telecom giant called NTT Docomo was launching a revolutionary new service called iMode. This platform allowed users to access things like weather forecasts, news, and email on their phones. But there was a challenge. Mobile screens were tiny, and text messages were limited to a small number of characters. How could you convey a lot of information quickly and visually? This is where a young employee named Shigetaka Kurita comes into the picture. He was part of the team developing iMode. Kurita was inspired by manga, which uses simple symbols to express emotions and ideas, and also by public signage, like the icons you see in airports and train stations. He thought, why not create a set of simple pictures that could be used in text messages? His idea wasn't immediately approved. Some executives thought it was childish, but Kurita persisted. In 1999, he and his small team designed the very first set of 176 emojis. The word emoji itself comes from the Japanese words "e" for picture and moji for character. These weren't the detailed, glossy emojis we have today. They were tiny, 12 by 12 pixel images, incredibly simple and blocky. They included things like smiley faces, hearts, weather symbols, and zodiac signs. The goal was to make communication more efficient and expressive. When iMode launched, these little pictures were an instant hit. Other Japanese mobile carriers saw their success and quickly developed their own sets of emojis. The emoji craze had officially begun in Japan, but it was still a long way from conquering the rest of the world. So, we had emoticons in the West and emojis in Japan. But there was a major problem: they weren't compatible. An emoji sent from an NTT Docomo phone would just show up as a blank square or a garbled character on a phone from a different carrier, let alone on a computer in another country. For emojis to go global, they needed a universal standard, a common code that every device could understand. This is where the Unicode Consortium comes in. Think of Unicode as the United Nations of text and symbols. It's a non-profit organization that assigns a unique number to every single character, from the letter A to a Chinese ideogram to a mathematical symbol. This ensures that a character looks the same no matter what device, platform, or language you're using. In the mid-2000s, engineers at Google and Apple, noticing the immense popularity of emojis in Japan, realized they needed to be part of this universal standard. They started pushing for the Unicode Consortium to adopt emojis. It was a complex process. They had to map the different emoji sets from the Japanese carriers and create a standardized list. Finally, in 2010, Unicode version 6.0 was released, and it included 722 emojis. This was the turning point. With a universal standard in place, Apple added an official emoji keyboard to iOS in 2011, and Android followed suit in 2013. Suddenly, billions of people around the world had a colorful palette of expressive icons right at their fingertips. The emoji explosion had begun, and digital communication would never be the same. The global adoption of emojis turned them into more than just a fun feature. They became a rich form of visual language. But like any language, its meaning isn't always straightforward. It can shift and evolve, and it can mean different things to different people and in different cultures. For example, the folded hands emoji in Western cultures, it's often interpreted as praying or a high five. But in Japan, where it originated, it's used to say please or thank you, and then there's the whole world of hidden or secondary meanings. Emojis have developed their own slang. The peach emoji, for instance, rarely refers to the actual fruit anymore. The skull emoji can mean I'm dying of laughter, not literal death. This evolution is driven by users themselves, creating a dynamic and constantly changing visual dialect. Emojis can also reflect social trends and build community. Think about how certain emojis become inside jokes within friend groups or online communities. They help us express complex emotions, sarcasm, and irony in ways that text alone simply can't. They've become an indispensable part of how we project our personality and tone in the digital realm. So what's next for the emoji? The story is far from over. The Unicode Consortium continues to add new emojis every year, and the process is more inclusive than ever. Now, anyone can submit a proposal for a new emoji. This has led to a much more diverse and representative set of icons. We've seen the addition of different skin tones, emojis representing people with disabilities, more gender-inclusive options, and culturally specific items like the Matryoshka doll or the tamale. These new additions show that emojis are not just static pictures. They are a living, breathing language that reflects our evolving society and culture. They mirror our values, our conversations, and the things that are important to us. From a simple smiley face on a university server to a globally recognized language with thousands of characters, the journey of the emoji is a perfect example of how technology and human creativity can come together to change the way we connect with each other. The next time you send an emoji, take a moment to appreciate the incredible story behind that tiny icon. Thanks for watching. What's your most used emoji? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through digital history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories about the technology that shapes our world. See you in the next one.